In Washington, President Trump signed an executive order on Friday targeting COVID-19 vaccine mandates. The order seeks to pause federal funding for any schools and universities that require students to have COVID-19 vaccinations. It also empowers Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to create an enforcement plan to end, quote, coercive mandates. It comes one day after President Trump signed another order establishing a Make America Healthy Again commission that will be tasked with looking into things like the, quote, overutilization of medication. And the president is in Florida tonight, and our Willie James Inman joins me now from West Palm Beach with more on this story. So let's start with the executive order that would basically aim to end COVID vaccine mandates in schools. Does the president actually have the power to do this?
Hey there, Chanel. Good to be with you. Well, how the president is going about this is to put this requirement on schools and say you can't have federal funding if you have a COVID-19 vaccine mandate at your K through 12 school or at your school or your university or college. But it's important to also point out that for the most part, either at the state level or at the school level themselves, these mandates have really just gone away just as much as the pandemic has gone away as well. But the president nonetheless following through on this key promise to essentially say that you cannot mandate that children or kids in university get these vaccines. It's also worth pointing out that vaccine mandates or requirements that continue for other diseases such as chickenpox and other ailments that public health officials want to make sure that they don't spread on school grounds. And the president really just going about this shortly after, as you mentioned, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was sworn in as a Health and Human Services Secretary. We, of course, know that he has really just blasted lots of misinformation in the past about vaccines. But he's come about in terms of working with senators, saying that he will carry out and make sure that America is healthy again, in his words, using the campaign slogan that has also come about in the past several months to make sure that this is carried out. But still, nonetheless, it's important to say that while most states, most schools have done away with this, the president's saying that we will withhold those federal funds if you have these requirements in place.
So, Willie James, when it comes to those federal layoffs that we talked about earlier in the hour, do we have a sense now of just how many employees and which departments are actually going to be impacted?
Yeah, there are several departments impacted throughout the government. The Department of Education, to name one, Small Business Administration, to name another, and OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, which is the HR of the federal government, being affected as well. So several agencies across the government, and we don't yet have a final total for those numbers, but this could potentially affect thousands of workers, Chanel, because those thousands of workers are in their probationary period, newly employed government employees within the last year or so, as to whether or not the government can really just decide about the future of their employment. Now, OPM has sent out a notice, and CBS News can report that notice is for Tuesday at 8 p.m. That's when all these agencies involved are supposed to let OPM know how many workers that they went about letting go that are those probationary workers. And it's also equally worth pointing out that the buyout offer, that's separate. That affects some 75,000 workers, that buyout offer that the Trump administration offered to those thousands of employees to resign now and will pay you through the end of the fiscal year. But this is, of course, a different downsizing program that affects thousands of workers, and perhaps these people in particular may not have those paychecks like those people who decided to take the buyout offer, Chanel.
Yeah, an important distinction to make there. Willie James Inman, thank you.